It's so warm. I'm feeling a bit flushed. Today, it's about toilet seats and that. You're watching, listening to the loose gadgets. Important debates that everyone should be having. So, Mark, what's the crack? Because it's not just, is it up or down?
Was that a lead in? What's the
What's the
crack?
crack? What's the butt crack?
What's the book crack? Yeah,
Aye.
it's an interesting one. We're getting these subjects, but I thought hard about this one over my evolution. I went from let's call it predominantly male household into a predominantly female household across my evolution. So me, my brother, my dad, etc. You got three blokes, and we all probably had the seat up, more and left it up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the bit about when you've got ladies, is it just being lazy, not dropping the seat, especially if you've got a lady in the household?
Is it
So
being lazy, not lifting the seat?
correct. So
Just playing devil's advocate. Because I always
yeah,
leave the lid down, but just playing devil's advocate.
yeah. I mean, what is the lid for?
For when you flush, so that the particles of water don't disperse into the air around the bathroom, because they will
So there's
do.
two elements to
So they'll
the seat, isn't there?
it'll aerosolize and it'll land on the sink next to it. It'll land on the bath when it eventually falls
Uh,
back down to the
so
ground.
which bit
So
are you talking about? The one where you rest your bottom on, or the one where you close the
I
lid
like
for
the
that?
lid.
What you just
Actually,
yeah.
hide the lid down, then flush, so that the I don't know the water particles stay inside the loo.
Because I was at the household I was in, if we take the two parts, most of the men would leave both parts up. So, uh, and then have a wee, walk away. So when the ladies came back, they would then be left to pull the
All
the
right.
rim down. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is inconsiderate or not.
Well, it's just it's a portion in the labour, isn't it? Like if we always had to leave the lid down, then that means the man always has to come and lift the lid back up and put it down, right? So, and it's then leaving the woman with nothing to do because the lid will always be down for them, or the seat will always be down for them, because the man has to lift it up, go for a slash, put the lid back down. So
Yeah,
it's like saying, no, no, it's all on you to make sure the toilet is prepared for me. I mean, for me, I think it's just it doesn't matter to me because I'm going to put the lid down anyway. I got myself into that habit thinking I'm someday going to be living with somebody female, and it's an
yeah,
argument that I can avoid just by setting up a new habit. So I did. Same as having a
yeah,
bath mat. A lot of women seem to hate it when men step out the shower with wet feet and you've just got these two big wet footprints on the carpet. So I bought a bath mat. So well, that's another argument I can get rid of is not wetting the floor, but I'll wet
yeah.
this bath mat instead. It seems
I
sensible
was
enough.
trying.
I don't know what do you like? I mean, are you courteous? Do you?
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
that's different. Is it
I think
courteous? I don't know. But do you
I
leave the
think I
lid
did it
down?
myself. I don't think I decided. I just decided to do it. So I well, it's two elements. One, I the seat is always down because I actually sit down for a wait. 99 times out of 100, I sit down.
What planet are you from?
You know, and because I had two ladies in the house, I just decided to do that. Now, this
Mm.
is where I was trying to think back in history. So the first house I lived in, we had an outside toilet. Yeah.
Hmm.
So because it was an outside toilet, it was pretty cold. And I guess as men, because we have the ability to stand,
Hmm.
we chose to stand and hit the circle or hit whatever we could hit. Um, and outside, it didn't really matter. And then on the few occasions where you needed to go for a poo, you would be left with no choice. You had to sit down, therefore you get a cold bottom. So, is it the resistance of the fact that we didn't want to get cold? That was where I sort of thought maybe the evolution of standing up for us, from me, or was it because public toilets was more about standing up?
Well, I think it's just because we're an upright species, and quicker just to whip it out, isn't it? Than get your whole pants down, then sit
Yeah,
down, take away. You can just sort of whip it out, get the job done.
I get that. I get that. So yeah, okay. For speed and accuracy, for speed, no, forget the accuracy. For speed, we wouldn't have had any clothes on. We would just we wherever we were.
Yeah.
Um, Now, moving into today's times, there are no experts at aiming. They don't exist. So nobody is an expert at aiming into the middle of that water. We do make mistakes, all of us.
Well, I'm not even sure if there's much of that. That even if you were hitting the water is going to cause a spray, whatever you do. So you're going to end up with some sort of spray on the floor, and that seems to be the thing that miffs most partners, right? Is look at the mess
Yeah.
you've made of the floor. Why don't you sit down? Oh, we need
What
to
about
wash the floor.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that. So the fact that you can't hit the pan, or we know that the way the male anatomy is created, that if you let's just say if you're slightly out of position, you end up spraying to the left or to the right in initial go. Yeah. Now, so knowing that you can spray to the left or the right, now you're left to clean it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So my argument is, I sit down, I let my little thing dangle down, and I relax.
Nah,
Yeah.
I'll
Now,
just clean up after myself if that happens. So if I see it on the floor, clean up after myself.
what about drips versus shaking? So at the end, you're left with drips, or you're left to shake it. Now, if you shake it, it's gone everywhere.
I sometimes flick.
Flick. Oh, interesting. Tell me about the flick.
Although it happens because as you age, the I'll use friendlier words. The pipe that normally runs sort of straight tends to relax as you get older, so it has a droop in it. So the reason you have the drips at the end is because your pipes have a U bend in them, so some
Yeah.
gets left in. So what I've taken to do is giving it a bit of a lift, and then it comes out,
Yeah.
the
That's
same
a,
way the rest of it does.
that's
So
a
I don't
good
need to
point.
give it a flick.
That's a good point. So I find, I don't know if it's my age or what, but I can't get rid of everything unless I undo my belt and drop my button and do my zip. Yeah, that helps my waist to relax that area. Now, so the fact that I'm halfway undressed, I might as well sit down. Yeah.
Now,
Now, okay,
I'll
yes,
sort of
yes,
agree with you that it's weird to just unzip and try and, you know,
yeah,
grab all your junk and bring it out. But
yeah.
that, that's a logistical nightmare.
Release
But
the beast.
it's easier just to undo the lot and
Yeah.
But
So, and I mean, in the summer especially, obviously I like wearing shorts. So it doesn't take any much longer to just drop your shorts down and turn around and sit down and relax. Um,
do you know what I intend to do?
what?
I had this thought last night. Weirdly, it must have been
Yeah.
preempting this episode.
But
Is
nighttime's good. Good.
when I eventually get back on the housing ladder, I'm going to install a urinal.
See, yeah. Now you've got a constant flush. So you need a flush system, don't you?
Just leave a jug by the sink.
Yeah. I was looking
You
at
can
that.
get urinals with a little handle though, can't you? Where you can choose to.
You'd want to, because
Flush.
obviously most of the urinals are on a timer now, aren't they? So there's a one.
Or
So
they
the
have a
middle of
little
the night.
sensor that detects when someone walks
Yeah,
up to it. Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's a well, I'll save that one. I was going to go a different direction. I'll try to hold it on the subject. So we're fortunate enough to have an ensuite. So in the middle of the night, when you get to my age, I inevitably need a wee during the night. So no light on. Uh, Turn round, sit down, have a wee, a little bit of a shake, clean the hands, and we're back to bed. But if it was the middle of the night and I've stood up and I'm half drowsy, it's going everywhere. If I'm standing up, it's going everywhere. Yeah.
See, once I'm
Especially
asleep,
if
I'm
you,
asleep. So I've
especially
not.
if you've been having a good dream as well.
Or pitching a tent.
Yeah, good dream about pitching a tent, you know, or finding some way to hang your towels in the bathroom. you know, yeah. So it's yeah. Oh, and of course, I have to say that at my age, I have this double quandary now that I'm getting a little bit older and I sit down, I have to be careful that the beans aren't skimming the pond.
They're not hanging that low, man. Oh, yeah.
It
I think
could be
the
a
thing you need to worry
continental
about is
toilet.
can you. The thing you need to worry about the most with your knees is can you stand back up?
Well, true, yeah. Got two of them handles on the side, like in Thailand,
Aye.
just to pull yourself back up.
Now, talking
Yeah.
about talking about Asia, they do it quite differently over there. It's a hole in the floor.
Yeah.
Hole in the floor. I've seen on a few of these, travel blogs and whatnot. So it's kind of a. Everybody seems to just squat over this bowl that's set into the floor, or if you go on one of them posh ones, you've got that full service loo that does all sorts of squirty business and warms the seat for you before you sit down. And like, who
Yeah.
needs a computer in the bog? Or apparently they've come up with them. But have you used a bidet?
Oh,
I've never
I
used a
use them
bidet.
all the time in Thailand.
I've
All the
never used.
time. Yeah. I never use toilet paper. So, yeah,
It
didn't
was
need
what it
to.
was. It was that efficient.
Yeah. I mean, I just, I love the odd squirt up my bum. So,
You know what Chris Ramsey says?
what?
He shaves his ass.
Good
And
point.
his justification was, look, have you ever had anything stuck in your hair and trying to get it out?
Yeah.
So now imagine that. He said, well, you make a fair argument. You do make a fair argument. But then that's probably why there are bidets, right? You give it a wish.
We've
But it
actually
means you have
got
to
one.
sit down twice. You've got, you know what it is? The number of revelations we've had on this podcast, from bog brushes to bidets to all sorts.
Yeah.
Feel like I don't know you, Mark.
Well, it was funny. I said to Michael when we were in Thailand, I said I'm coming back. I'm coming back to the UK, and I'm going to become a plumber again. And I said I'm going to stick bidets in, and I'm going to make attachments to existing loos that you can just, rather than have a separate bidet, you just have an attachment on your current loo. And he
Ah,
was like,
you get them little squirty hose things that you can
yeah,
wrap around the bowl. Yeah.
yeah. So, but he said you forgot one thing, Mark. He said, do you want, when it's in the middle of winter, -5, that water shoved up your arse? I was like, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's enough to wake you up, isn't it?
Oh, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Oof, you'll be awake after that.
Flipping right.
Sure. So you need
Yeah.
to attach it to, I don't know, a hot water tap or something.
Oh, but
Or,
I get it.
or maybe tie a kettle element in there
I was going to
to
say,
warm up the
because
bog water.
being an ex-plumber, I get into the understanding of dog legs. Where the heat's from the combi boiler and it travels 2 miles to your toilet, and then you've wasted all that energy to switch it off.
Yeah.
It's flipping anyway. But yeah, is that, so the story to the little gentleman out there is, when you've got ladies in your household, really think about that process, because I'm going to say it makes no sense to stand up.
Or buy her other half a shiwi so she can stand up as well.
Yeah,
That's an
the
invention.
shiwis.
That's a real invention.
Well, especially if you think, I know we're drawing to a conclusion, but imagine you're out in public. Why would you want to sit on those public toilets anyway? You're having to levitate, aren't you? So, but if you had a he,
Hey,
she, you could just,
shiwi.
he, she, we, yeah, he, she.
Oh, I've known some people who just use a load of the loo roll and they'll spend time just placing it around the seat,
Yeah,
so they're sitting on the paper.
lovely.
Although some hotels you can just pull one off a roll and hide on this pre-made seat cover. And even in some of the poshest of poshest ones, they actually have a thing that pulls over with like an elastic. What's it around there? So it sticks to the. It's your ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're not walking around all day touching your ass, are you? So you're not gonna get loads of I don't know. It's not exactly all the best germs down there, is it?
not really, no. There's probably not much worse, but there is equal,
Although I've
we're
heard of people catching things off loos, but it's rare. It's rare, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
It's
It's
funny.
as rare as a concrete school.
Oh, these days, hi,
Yeah.
they're all falling to bits. Well, I say
Don't
all.
get me started on that.
It's 1%.
It's less than 1%.
Aye.
33,000 schools in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
And the news is oh, but it's 1%. Oh, it's this. Well, you told me what the exact number was, and that's not 1%. Because
Yeah.
it was like a three-digit. It was only a few hundred schools out of, like you say.
147 out of 33,000. It's
Yeah.
less than half a percent.
But if you'd watched a bit of Prime Minister's question time yesterday, as I try and make myself watch these things to, I don't know, have an interest in politics, and it was star mailing. Oh, this and that in schools, and look how rubbish everything is, and how rubbish you are. And it's 130 odd schools. Yes, it's tragic. Yes, it's terrible for those people affected. But if you're looking at the grand scheme of the whole country, and that they were built after the war, and they were only meant to be up there for 30 to 50 years, so they were built not to last. It's just that someone hasn't replaced them. That's the problem. Not that they were falling to bits, but that someone hasn't replaced them because they were only meant to last as long as they've lasted. Because
I'm not bothered about that crap. It's the news that bugs me. I just don't
oh,
want. I'm not. This sensationalizing press. It just boils my previous subject.
well, they do like to drag it. I mean, even some of the stations like Talk TV, they say, "Oh, we're different." Well, no, you've managed to wring this story dry by talking about it for 5 days on every single show. So, and the channel, well, it used to be 24 hours. It's not anymore, but for most of the day, you've had this, and then one of them has a special episode. Oh, we're talking about that. Oh, come on, it's not that huge. I'd love to have a. That might be boring, but I'd love to have a news channel that just literally says facts.
Yeah.
Doesn't offer any spin or any opinion. Just this happened. What do you think? End of. End of. I'd
I
watch
mean,
that.
I'm no fan left or right up down, but one of the things that really bugged me this week, I know we shouldn't be doing this on this subject, but that lady that they interviewed and then they kept the camera rolling and they caught her out. That's wrong.
Oh, that's morally
That
wrong.
is wrong.
They were all rubbing their hands when that happened. Went, oh, was the camera still rolling? Aye. Did you get it? Aye. Aye, it did. That was ITV, and that was after the interview that he did was a constant grilling. It
Yeah.
was all negative. He was trying to catch her out on everything. It wasn't an interview. It was an
Yeah.
interrogation. And at the end of that, she kind of went, are you ever going to say that we've done anything good? Or are you only interested in the bad we've done? And that
Yeah.
is the news. If you had two events of equal size, one was a positive change, one was a negative one, you're guaranteed they're going to pick the negative one. And you say, oh no, well bad news sells better. You've made it that
We're not
way.
going to watch it in the future then. I'm not
So
going to watch it.
I've started watching gaming streams and all sorts. I've been
Yeah.
all over YouTube watching all sorts of other things and trying to stay away from watching any live TV whatsoever, any news channels.
Yeah.
And just every now and again, I'll flick it on, catch up. Has anything changed? Oh, some prisoners escaped from Belmarsh.
Yeah.
Oh,
With
not
his
in
arrows on
Belmarsh,
him. Yeah.
in what you call it, the other one, the Category B prison.
No idea.
He escaped dressed as a cook. No, he was working in the kitchen and had the cook's uniform on when he escaped. He wasn't dressed as one like it was a disguise. But they'll leave people to infer this stuff. Oh, he was dressed. Yeah, because he was working in the kitchen. That's how he got out. Because the kitchen's one of the least secure areas in the whole prison. Because there's trucks coming and going. And
Yeah.
you can spin out, like statistics, you can spin them any way you want.
Of course you can.
Aye. So, we've got another two to
Done.
do. Another two
Yeah.
exciting ones. We're going to have some debate over this next week. At least I hope so. Hope so. Stir things up. Get out the wooden spoon. So until the next one, and we're going to be doing. I'm going to try and get this one out tonight, and then schedule 3 of them to come out next week to catch us up for next Friday. And likes, subscribes, follows, comments, all of that. Arguments, right? But until then, take care.